Imagine standing before a fiery furnace whose flames could melt steel. Warm air dances, and the soil underneath threatens to pierce your souls. Imagine being thrown into those flames while breathing. Doesn't it seem impossible? 3 individuals made an extraordinary adventure long ago. They passed the challenge without harm from flames, smoke, or even ash. Strangely, when others looked inside, they saw 4 individuals. Enigma stood untouched by the fire's intense grasp. The story is true. One of the greatest stories ever told. The Book of Daniel recounts bravery, faith, and divine direction. They faced the furnace rather than worship a golden idol, because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were faithful. They trusted the Lord and knew they would remain committed even if He did not deliver them. What happened next changed their lives and the spirit of a king, and it may change yours too. What would you do in their situation? Should you maintain your position or give in when pressure mounts? Let's explore the story's message of hope, resilience, and the divine. Prepare. You won't want to miss this. A monarch whose name inspired terror and awe ruled ancient Babylon, a glorious and powerful country. King Nebuchadnezzar lived once. He was more than a ruler. He left a legacy of ambition, ferocious resolve, and power. From the moment he ascended the throne, Nebuchadnezzar set out to build an empire that would demonstrate his magnificence. His period was marked by grand fortifications, rich gardens, and magnificent buildings that testified to his dominance. However, underneath the magnificence was an arrogant ruler who believed he was invincible and superior to others. Nebuchadnezzar craved empire. He wanted to convert regions into reflections of his splendor, not just rule them. He waged armies, claimed lands, and ruled nations in his pursuit. A small yet tenacious country, Judah, was seized. Their persistent trust in God set them apart. Nebuchadnezzar saw their uniqueness as a challenge. He wanted to break their will, obliterate their essence, and force them to comply. 4 young men from Judah were seized and taken to Babylon during these magnificent conquests. Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were young men in the past. Selecting these youth was deliberate. They were picked for their exceptional characteristics, which even the king's most loyal slaves lacked. They had exceptional brilliance, insight, and strength. Beyond that, they had a calm, unshakable strength. Their confidence came from their steadfast faith in the God of Israel, the Creator of the universe. These young men faced steadfastness tests in Babylon. They were given new names, forced to learn a foreign language, and taught the practices of a polytheistic people. Despite pressure to conform, they stayed true to themselves. They stayed true to their beliefs, despite danger. Their boldness captivated everyone, even the king. Nebuchadnezzar saw that these people were different because of their faith in God, not their skills or knowledge. Nebuchadnezzar was a steady ruler. Time made his pride grow, becoming a towering figure in his life. He saw himself as the ultimate king, fate's architect, and life's centerpiece. He ordered the construction of a golden monument to demonstrate his authority. This monument showed his might and said that he alone was worthy of respect. The monument, towering against the horizon and shining in the light, commanded respect from all who saw it. It emphasized Nebuchadnezzar's belief that he was divine, invincible, and supreme. Thus, the monarch issued a powerful decree. All in the realm were ordered to kneel down and honor the golden statue before them, while the lovely melodies of musical instruments flowed through the air. Disobeying the rules will have immediate repercussions. The result? Resistors of the edict were burnt to death in a hot furnace. It was cruel and calculated to eradicate defiance and win loyalty. For many, the way was clear. To endure was a given. The stakes for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were enormous. They refused to abandon their beliefs, no matter the cost. The grand dedication day was approaching, and anticipation was high. The people of Babylon gathered, their faces showing surprise and fear. They understood the summons. They understood their revolt. Despite the bent heads and frightened hearts, 3 figures stood firm. Their fortitude would become a timeless story of undying faith, persistent perseverance, and the divine's unfailing friendship. To everyone's surprise, this important event would test human fortitude and reveal a higher power's extraordinary effect. In Babylon, a furnace danced and a haughty king loomed, preparing for a miraculous event. It would change history forever. Ancient Babylon, known for its grandeur and might, was ruled by a monarch whose name evoked fear and awe. King Nebuchadnezzar was a powerful monarch with lofty ambitions. His leadership was marked by enormous successes as he conquered vast areas and shaped nations to his will. Yet underneath his beauty was a deep vanity and an insatiable craving for power that drove him to seek earthly dominance and heavenly adulation. This profound need led to one of the most astonishing events in history, a moment that challenged human belief and revealed the divine. In a historic event, the king issued a decree. He ordered the erection of a gilded statue in his honor. This magnificent statue embodied tremendous authority and the king's desire to be worshipped as a divinity. An imposing figure, 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide, shone in its grandeur, casting a powerful shadow over everyone who saw it. The king's mandate was clear. When trumpets, flutes, harps, lyres, and cymbals were played, everyone, regardless of rank, was ordered to bow and honor the majestic picture before them. To disobey the order would result in harsh retaliation, chilling everyone who heard. The result? Cast into a burning fire that might convert the strongest warrior to dust. The dedication day brought joy to those who attended. People from all across the empire gathered at Dura Plain to see the golden monument. From aristocrats to commoners, everybody flocked to watch the spectacular display. As the music began, the crowd became silent. They approached the statue one by one, bowing and touching their faces to the ground. Like a tapestry, many souls revered the monarch and showed their adoration. Despite this sea of sameness, 3 people remained steadfast. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego remained firm, a light of courage in the shadows. Indeed, their disobedience was noticed. The news spread quickly among the populace, reaching those in power who desired the king's favor. In righteous fury, they approached Nebuchadnezzar with burning hearts and quaking voices. "O sovereign, may your reign last." Everyone was ordered to bow to the golden picture. However, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Jewish leaders in Babylon, do not follow your orders. They said, "They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image," to upset the king. Indeed, they won. Nebuchadnezzar reacted immediately and furiously. He summoned the 3 guys with a stormy voice, his rage obvious. "Would it be true? Do you refuse to prostrate before my deity or honor my statue? Be ready to bend and worship as the music starts. However, you will be immediately flung into the burning furnace if you refuse. Which deity could save you from me?" Anticipation hung in the air. Everyone watched the 3 men for their replies. Would they submit to the king's fury, or would they stick to their beliefs? This moment sparked generations of hearts. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego bravely reacted. Our God can save us from the scorching fire. We will never kneel down to your deities or worship your golden idol, even if he doesn't." Their statements were calm and brave, overcoming apprehension. They accepted death with open hearts, trusting a supernatural force greater than any earthly authority. Instead of pride, they were fearless because they believed the divine plan would prevail in this life and the next. They became beacons of hope, lighting the darkness of tyranny and injustice in that time. The sovereign's rage escalated as he contemplated their response. With tremendous determination, he ordered the furnace to be fanned to 7 times its previous heat, to teach those who defied him a lesson. The 3 guys were pulled towards the raging flame by brave warriors, where the intense heat overcame even those who carried this awful mission. As the flames danced ferociously and the bystanders gasped, an extraordinary event was about to unfold, one that would change history forever. A world-famous king lived in ancient Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar ruled steadfastly. His vanity and power hunger were unbridled. Through wars, he conquered nations and forced their people to obey him. Among the prisoners were 4 young Judahites, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These young people were chosen for their strength and wisdom. They were marked by their unshakable faith in God. In a time of immense power, the monarch ordered the production of a beautiful golden statue. Shining in the sun, it towered over the huge fields, a declaration. At the moment the instruments began playing, everyone was called to kneel and honor the monument. Ignoring this would have terrible implications. The result? Cast into a hot furnace with unfathomable flames. As the tunes filled the air, the crowd bowed in respect. 3 figures remained steadfast. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stayed firm in their faith when the crowd knelt. Many heard their refusal, a mute witness to their tenacity. The monarch asked them to appear quickly after hearing the news. "Is it true?" he said, angry. "Dare you to challenge my decree? Are you prepared to meet your ends instead of honoring my deities?" The 3 men responded immediately and confidently. They spoke with calm confidence and purpose. "O King, we stand firm in our resolve. Our God possesses the power to rescue us from the flames of the furnace. Yet, should he choose not to, let it be known, we shall never bow to your gods or pay homage to the golden image you have erected." Their words were resolute. Fear disappeared, and faith in the divine replaced it. Consider the moment. Expectation hung in the air. The towering golden statue above them drew a crowd. Music danced through the air, inviting everyone to kneel. 3 men stayed determined, despite the chaos of clashing noises and horns. The change was striking. As many bowed in homage, these 3 stood firm, their faith gleaming brighter than the golden idol before them. Their goal and conviction drove their boldness. It was rooted in a deep relationship with a God who had always been loyal. These folks witnessed miracles. From their capture and transport to their trials in Babylon, they saw the divine's might in action. They grasped his essence. They trusted his promises. When faced with the choice between life and allegiance, they chose loyalty without hesitation. Please consider the weight of their choice. This was a faith test. It was true. Death loomed in the darkness. Behold, the furnace was a terrifying inferno, ready to consume anybody who ventured near. The troops who were ordered to throw them into the flames were consumed by the fire they wanted. However, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego persisted. Though they understood the enormity of the situation, they remained faithful. What gave them courage? Their courage stemmed from their unwavering belief in God's supremacy. They confidently declared, "Our God is able to deliver us." They didn't say, "Perhaps God will deliver us," or "We wish for God's intervention." They spoke with conviction. They had an incomprehensible divinity. He was free from his circumstances. It would be easy for him to save them. However, they stated that they would not kneel, even if the Almighty allowed them to die in the flames. Despite hardships, their faith remained strong. Unwavering trust underpinned it. This declaration shows their faith's depth. They did not bargain with God. No miraculous sign was sought. They completely surrendered to his almighty will. In life and death, they served him alone. Faith is valuable. It asks us to examine our hearts. Shall we persevere through old-fashioned trials? Will we bend our ideals and excuse our decisions to survive? As the king digested their words, wrath flared. How dare these folks oppose him? Did they not see his power? In anger, he ordered the boiler to be heated 7 times higher than usual. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were bound and thrown into the fire by brave warriors. The fierce flames devoured the courageous troops guarding the furnace. An astonishing incident occurred. The emperor was astonished as he looked at the flames. He saw 4 graceful forms among the flames. One had an unusual, even divine, radiance. "Behold," said the king, "lo, I behold 4 men, free from their bonds and untouched by harm, and the 4th appears as though he is a son of the divine." Nebuchadnezzar's anger turned into awe at that moment. He shouted for the 3 men to leave the boiler. The crowd gasped when they entered. Flames did not touch their hair. No smoke or flame appeared on their clothes. It was as if they had never entered the boiler. All present were startled at the miracle. The crucial moment had arrived. The songs echoed over the vast area, beckoning people to bow before the gold idol. Many kneeled with their foreheads on the ground in respect. In this sea of sameness, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood apart. Their denial was based on a strong belief, not disobedience. They realized the cost of departing. They understood the king's rage. Most of all, they trusted the Almighty, who had led them thus far. Nebuchadnezzar heard about their courageous disobedience shortly. As he summoned them, his face darkened with rage. "Is it true?" he shouted, loud enough to shake the room. "Have you turned away from the image I have established? Do you believe yourself to be above my decrees? Understand this. If you do not kneel before it now, you shall be cast into the blazing furnace. And tell me, who is the God that can rescue you from my grasp?" A deep quiet filled the room. All eyes were on the 3 men. What words would they say? What chance did they have against such power? However, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego persisted. In unwavering tones, they said, "O king, we stand firm in our resolve and need not defend ourselves before you. Our God possesses the power to save us from the fiery furnace and to rescue us from your grasp, O king. Yet, even if he chooses not to, let it be known that we shall not bow to your gods or pay homage to the golden image you have erected." The crowd was moved by their response. It was faith in the face of dread, not just courage. These men were following the plan, not testing supernatural intervention. They were loyal to him throughout life and death. Such tenacity infuriated Nebuchadnezzar. In his hubris, he saw himself as untouchable. Opposing him meant challenging his dominion. With rage, he ordered the boiler to be kept 7 times hotter. Soldiers hurriedly ignited the fire, causing the air to dance with warmth. The weight of the moment was immense. The men tasked with binding Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego hid from the flames, obscuring their faces. The flames swirled and crackled like night creatures with hungry hunger. Without hesitation, the three men were tied and carried to the furnace's burning maw. No dread will arise. Trust the trip. They proceeded with majestic elegance, their eyes fixed on a presence, something or someone, transcending the burning trials before them. Flames engulfed all around them as they were plunged into the scorching depths. They were instantly freed from their bonds. The troops guarding the furnace died in the unrelenting fire. It seemed impossible that anyone could survive such conditions. When Nebuchadnezzar looked closely, he gasped. A person emerged from the smoke and flames, moving in the darkness. There were 4 figures present, not just 1, 2, or 3. 4 individuals confidently walk among the flickering flames. "Behold," the king said, shaking with awe. "Lo and behold, I see 4 men, free from their bonds and untouched. And the 4th, oh, the 4th appears as if he is a son of the divine." Remarkably, his words remained. Who is this intriguing character? He came from where? Could this be a celestial guardian protecting the faithful? Could that be a glimpse of the divine? The image left the king and others stunned. This miracle was incredible. It declared the power of a divine entity above all worldly authority. Instead of burning the body and spirit, the fire displayed heavenly light. And lo, the 4th figure moved among the 3 guys, as if to guide, protect, and tell them they were never abandoned. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego encountered a severe challenge of faith and dedication. This was a moment of divine justice. Like a powerful flame, their faith survived and shone brighter than the fiercest fire. Nebuchadnezzar possessed heavenly perception. His pride melted like wax under a powerful flame. In that insight, he may have finally understood his authority. A creator who transcended human understanding and earthly knowledge was at work in the magnificent fabric of life. The king spoke again, now with greater substance. Respect replaced rage. He said, "Step forth." The 3 men emerged from the boiler slowly. As they inhaled, the crowd went silent, shocked by the scene. Their clothes stayed clean. They found that the flames did not singe their hair. There was no smoke smell. It appeared that the flames had acknowledged them and surrendered to the one they worshipped. This moment makes us imagine ourselves in their shoes. How should we handle such a trial? Would challenges weaken our faith? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego demonstrate that real faith is based on trust, not assurances. As they contemplated life and death, uncertainty hung over them. Even though death was imminent, they continued to serve the Almighty, believing He was worthy. Their narrative inspires us to consider our own travels. Can we stand firm when the world demands concession? Can we brave the flames, knowing the divine is beside us? Nebuchadnezzar's rage became awe in that moment. He leaned forward on his royal seat, staring at the fire. Despite their distance, the flames flickered and crackled, calling out with their ferocious fire. The unrelenting and searing flames killed brave troops guarding the furnace. Despite the fire, a miracle was happening. The king saw a 4th person through the shimmering heat waves. They moved freely in the fire, uninjured and unaffected by the ferocious flames. One sparkled majestically and ethereally, mesmerizing all who saw it. He seemed to radiate, drawing all attention. Nebuchadnezzar rose up, trembling with awe. "Behold," he shouted, approaching the boiler, "did we not cast 3 men bound into the flames? Yet here I behold 4 figures walking freely amidst the fire, untouched. And who is this 4th one? He appears, unlike the others. Could it be? Is this a divine presence?" The king's voice held wonder and intrigue. His tone changed from rage to reverence, discarding arrogance for humility. A man who sought reverence is now humbled before a stronger force. Admirers were silenced as the flames swirled and cracked. Silence fell over the group like a hallowed stillness. The amazing spectacle before them captivated everyone. The fire, once a powerful force of destruction and death, appears to have weakened. It danced about the boiler, but did not reach its victims. See the colorful scene, a furious fire burning, but peaceful people walking. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego strolled gracefully, their faces elevated as if talking to the fourth figure. With confidence, they proceeded through the dangerous environment, as if unaware of the dangers. Can you picture how they felt in that crucial moment? Could they have stood amidst the flames without experiencing any pain? Is it possible to inhale the dense, smoke-filled air and emerge unscathed? Imagine their mental turmoil. Perhaps they recalled their promise to trust the Almighty, regardless of whether He saved them. Perhaps they felt His presence so strongly that fear vanished. Their steadfast faith got them through every challenge. Now they showed the Almighty's unfailing loyalty. The fourth figure caught everyone's attention. Who was he? He may have been a celestial messenger sent to protect and advise them. Or was he greater? Most believe this mysterious person was Jesus Christ, a pre-incarnate apparition of the Son of God. In that scenario, this moment is more significant. Behold, the Creator of all things, walking with His faithful servants through their trials. He experienced their sorrow, not just observed. He narrated their journey, safeguarding them and making the furnace a hallowed gathering place. This discovery upended Nebuchadnezzar's power and authority. He built his world on terror and control, forcing others to comply. But there was a supernatural presence beyond human comprehension. He was a supernatural defender of his people, not relying on power or force, but on their unwavering faith. A holy presence who entered the flames, showing that he is not distant or disinterested, but fully involved in people who love him. The monarch felt warm and compassionate as he watched. He realized that grandeur is not about wealth, military forces, or glittering monuments. He understood that grandeur lies in the essence of a divine being who saves, renews, and restores. This deep knowledge changed him forever. Nebuchadnezzar approached the furnace carefully as the flames flickered and vanished. He called the three men forward. Whispers of awe and amazement permeated the air as they entered the pleasant wind. Flames did not touch their hair. Their clothes were unharmed by smoke or ash. There was no smoke smell. It was as if they had never entered the boiler. Their survival was a powerful message weaved within their trip. Their survival served as a powerful message to Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians, and future generations. No earthly force can defeat the Almighty of the skies, it said. Despite searing trials, scorching challenges, or hopelessness, the Lord is faithful. Though He does not promise to remove all challenges, He assures us that we will never face them alone. The crowd scattered, sending whispers over the realm. The tales of the three men and the enigmatic fourth figure in the burning inferno captivated people worldwide. The story left everyone in amazement and unable to comprehend how it happened. For believers, it was the heavenly hand at work. King Nebuchadnezzar reached a pivotal moment upon witnessing what he saw. The ruler who had formerly demanded steadfast allegiance to his gilded image now faced a far stronger power. As he told his story, his voice quivered, revealing the gentle humility of a soul struggling with inexplicable secrets. He said, "Praised be the Lord of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in amazement. An angel was sent forth, delivering his faithful servants who placed their trust in him. They stood firm against the king's decree, choosing to surrender their very bodies rather than bow down to any god but their own. The king paused, contemplating the happenings. He contemplated the fire, whose flames consumed the troops ordered to toss the three men into its scorching embrace. And there they were, undamaged and unshaken. Their clothes and hair were unharmed. They didn't smell smoke or see the fire that should have killed them. As if commanded by a divine presence, the flames obeyed. The fourth figure appeared, radiant, beautiful, and unearthly. Who might this amazing person be? Could it have been an angel? Was, as some whispered, the divine essence traveling with them? As Nebuchadnezzar spoke, his voice changed from amazement to conviction. "Let no one utter a word against the God of these men," he said, "for there is no other God who can rescue in this way." These profound statements marked a pivotal moment for both the king and those who witnessed this divine declaration. The mightiest king of the day made a significant pronouncement that accepted the dominion of a divine entity beyond human comprehension. The king's decree lost its power. He focused on a divine energy that outshines countries, false gods, and even the most ferocious fires. However, let us consider the magnitude of this change. King Nebuchadnezzar was firm. He constructed his kingdom with force and dread, compelling devotion with his will. His perspective changed in one day. What caused this change? Was it simply overcoming all obstacles? Or did the fourth figure's brightness leave an indelible mark on the king? Perhaps it was a harmonious combination of the visible indicators around him and the deep awakening in his spirit. Today, this moment is a valuable lesson. How often do we hold on to our own perceptions of dazzling idols? We frequently create idols from success, fortune, relationships, or achievements, believing these lead to ultimate security and happiness. Trials, our personal furnaces, show us the idol's vulnerability. Like Nebuchadnezzar, we struggle to give up control, believing our way is best. When we see God's might, everything changes. As we lose our pride, we gently accept humility. Life turns uncertainty into belief. Hope overwhelms our anxieties. All individuals may relate to this story, crossing barriers and linking hearts. Whether a strong monarch rules vast regions or a modest individual struggles through life, redemption comes from the one who maintains all creation. Nebuchadnezzar's awareness of God's supremacy was a turning point in his life. It made him and us question our confidence. Shall we worship before our own false gods, or embrace the one who walks with us through every trial? This event also suggests a larger story hidden in ancient writings. Just as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were protected in the furnace, Jesus Christ would endure the toughest hardships with steadfast strength. Despite rejection, betrayal, and death, he defeated sin and gave eternal life to those who believe. The similarities are striking. Both stories include persistent faith, amazing events, and virtue triumphing against wickedness. They show that God never leaves his children, even in the worst situations. When he meets them in the flames, he illuminates the darkness and turns hopelessness into rescue. As we contemplate Nebuchadnezzar's metamorphosis, ask, are we willing to sacrifice for our beliefs? Can we trust the Almighty to help us through life's challenges, knowing he is always with us? This timeless story inspires us to be bold, hang on to hope, and face the future with confidence that the same God who saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is still with us. This narrative embodies bravery and faith beyond history. Deep spiritual meaning reveals realities transcending time and civilization. It reveals the divine as ever-present, powerful, and trustworthy. However, it also foreshadows Jesus Christ's life, death, and resurrection, the ultimate demonstration of divine love and redemption. The fourth figure in the burning inferno has puzzled and fascinated people for decades. Who was he? Why did he arrive at that crucial moment of need? Many historians and theologians believe this person is a Christophany, or pre-incarnate Jesus Christ. This idea matches other ancient writings where the divine appears as a person to comfort, guide, or save his people. Jesus walked with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego during their ordeal before he was born in Bethlehem. Before he walked among us, he was actively involved in his people's lives, showing them they were never alone. This element is significant because it shows that Jesus is not a remote observer of our suffering. He joins our problems, not just watches. He enters our pain. He walks with us through fire. As he stood by those 3 men in Babylon, he stands with us now, no matter how hot the fires. Let us take consolation in the fact that Jesus observes our suffering and lifts us when we feel alone in times of persecution, loss, disease, or uncertainty. The similarities between this Old Testament event and Jesus' New Testament story keep emerging. Consider the bravery of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Despite the danger, they remained faithful to God. They boldly said, "Our God is able to deliver us, but even if he does not, we will not worship your gods." This is one of the bravest professions of faith in the sacred books. It represents persistent confidence in heavenly power, regardless of outcome. Isn't it what Jesus so wonderfully exemplified? Jesus suffered greatly, betrayed by loved ones, mocked, beaten, and nailed on the cross. He stuck to his mission. He could have summoned numerous angels to save him off the cross, but he didn't. He died for everyone, trusting the Father's plan. Jesus, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, surrendered to the divine plan, even as it led to Calvary. Jesus triumphed from the tomb, destroying sin and death forever, just as those 3 men emerged unhurt from the flaming furnace. This link is strong because it gives us hope. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were protected by the same God who resurrected Jesus. If he can do such miracles, imagine what he might do for you. You may be facing an insurmountable season, a burning tribulation that will consume you. It might be financial stress, interpersonal conflict, health issues, or spiritual difficulties. Whatever it is, remember that flames cannot consume what the divine has protected. Just as he protected those 3 guys in the blazing furnace, he will help you through your troubles. This story also makes us consider true devotion. Nebuchadnezzar ordered everyone to bow before his golden statue at a difficult period. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to give in to the world and remained true to God. They teach that authentic worship is founded on conviction, not convenience or compliance, on this journey. Worship takes sacrifice. It urges us to abandon our lesser pursuits and fully embrace the one deserving of praise. When we put God first, we see his power and rewards. Finally, this incident had a major impact on Nebuchadnezzar. He started as a powerful monarch, engulfing himself in his own splendor. However, the boiler miracle changed him greatly. It humbled him and revealed God's magnificence. This shows us that even modest acts of dedication may cause ripples that stretch far beyond our sight. When we choose to honor God in difficult times, we become active witnesses to His kindness and grace. Though we may not realize how our actions affect others, it matters. As you consider this story, ask yourself, would I die for my beliefs? Am I willing to trust the Lord even if the outcome disappoints? Faith is difficult, but its benefits are great. Today, Jesus, who joined Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace, will help you through your trials. The simple faith of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego moves me. Despite their concern, they trusted the Almighty's might and divine understanding if He chose not to save them. Their unwavering faith shows us that true faith requires a modest surrender of control and a deep confidence in a higher power. It makes us wonder, how often do we let fear rule our actions when uncertainty looms? Would I persevere like those 3 brave people when faced with insurmountable obstacles? This story is timeless. True belief requires fortitude, even when it costs. Although the world may sway us, this narrative encourages us to stay steadfast in our beliefs, defy society's standards, and hang on to hope even in the darkest moments. It motivates us to live courageously based on our values. The transformation of Nebuchadnezzar shows that holy truth may soften even the hardest souls. It encourages us to be open to unexpected spiritual revelations. How will you tell this story? Will you let it spark deep spiritual reflection? It may be time to examine those deep-seated concerns or anxieties that have been holding you back. Discuss trust with others, especially in uncertain times. Explore how Jesus' presence weaves history, the present, and the future into holy writings. Please let this classic story encourage you to live with bravery, humility, and faith. Indeed, history shows that individuals who believe despite hardships typically leave a legacy for others.